Ninjago just keeps leveling up with every new installment, and the extended canon is no exception. If you didn't already know, issues 3 to 5, aka the last little bit of Shatterspin, has finally dropped, meaning the full story is out there, and it is packed with some awesome lore and great moments. Today, I'm going to be recapping and breaking down these last few issues of the story, so if you haven't seen my breakdown of issues 1 and 2, be sure to go hit that link in the description to catch up on the story before we get into this heartbreaking end. And of course, this is your only spoiler warning for the Shatterspin comic. If you haven't read it yet, go read it. What are you doing? It is incredible, and leaves so many theories for how Jay might be able to unshatter his soul, but we'll get to that later on. So Dork Squad, for one last time, let's shatter our souls and dive into the heartbreaking and high-stakes end of the Shatterspin comic. Our story continues with Garmadork practicing the art of Shatterspin, honing it to perfection, while Zuri is spying on him from above, amazed at Garmadork's sheer mastery over the art form in such a short amount of time. Distracted by her pure amazement, Zuri falls from the tree above, and Garmadork catches her just by the leg as she begins to question him, claiming he stole Shatterspin from their ancestors. Zuri and the kids begin to bombard Garmadork with questions, but he shuts them down quickly, proclaiming that he doesn't need to be questioned by children, and storms off annoyed. Though Garmadork can't even seem to get a moment of peace, as not long after, Mama Llama follows close behind him, and the pair begin discussing him training the kids in Shatterspin. And this is one of my favorite moments, with Garmadork just flexing how well he knows Shatterspin, but Mama Llama is like, if you can't teach it, how well do you really know it? During their discussion, Mama Llama claims that the only way to take out the Lichen King is to smash the 4 runes that are on each side of his body at the same time. And immediately, like, there's a lot of red flags here, right? Like, why does she know all of this? Like, I know old people know a lot, but that's normally for a reason. Garmadork doesn't even know if he's good enough to train them, let alone the fact that they don't trust him. Mama Llama leaves him with the words that, well, you haven't given them a reason to trust you, and she walks off, leaving Garmadork to his thoughts. And I gotta say, it's very interesting to see this kind of self-doubt in Garmadork and unsurance as someone who's always been a very confident character. I mean, come on, he's Lord Garmadork, and I'm really liking seeing this older, more human version of Garmadork that we didn't see a lot of in the original series. Hours later, after thinking on what Mama Llama said, Garmadork arrives late at night back to the kids singing and dancing by the fire. As an apology for messing up his cut in the first chapter, Garmadork gives Asa a proper haircut this time, telling the kids to get some sleep because tomorrow their training begins. Later that night, while the Lichen King is lurking about, Zenith Kane finally shows her face, mocking him, for she believes her return to power is soon. The next day, the warriors begin their training, and it goes just about how you would think with Garmadork as your sensei. All of the kids fail at their tests until finally Zuri uses Shatterspin, making it super clear that yes, you can use Shatterspin without using the gong and shattering your soul, at least to some extent. The group all celebrate by the fire, once again singing and dancing. While his 4 siblings are out celebrating, Asa sneaks off to practice and ultimately masters Shatterspin. But not only that, Asa stumbles upon the Shadow Dojo Temple, and a glowing pair of eyes watching him from behind. Looking down, Asa sees something us Dragons Rising fans are all far too familiar with, and that being the mask of the Wolf Clan. Asa begins to hear the voices of his ancestors. You're the one we've been waiting for. You will free us. Ring the gong. Though just like Garmadork, Asa is quickly overloaded by the spirits and passes out. Garmadork is warned by the spirits that one of them is in danger and there is a traitor amongst them. Garmadork and the kids lock in and run to save Asa. Meanwhile, he's being captured by the Lichen King. just when it seems like Mama Wama might actually pull like some kind of woo from Crystallize because she shows up out of nowhere, she reveals herself as Zayden Kane. And I gotta be honest, guys, this just didn't do it for me. There's a lot that bugs me about this plot twist and this reveal especially. Number one is that she doesn't really do anything. She just jumps out of the way and the Lichen King keeps running. It's not like we got a crazy fight scene. We saw the power of Mama Wama. No, she just does what she did every other time she was in front of the Lichen King. It just jumped away from a swipe and disappeared off screen. And only to just randomly show back up after Garmadon and the kids get to where Asa and the Lichen King are. But anyways, she just kind of stands there and does nothing while the kids finally land their attack in perfect sync on the Lichen King, except it doesn't quite go how Mama Wama said it would. In fact, it seems like it didn't even really affect the Lichen King at all as he turns the rest of them into stone. There goes all the Forbidden 5 theories that we had earlier that these kids might have been the 5. That's definitely down the drain now. In a fit of rage, Garmadon and Asa team up to take down the Lichen King and remove the crown, hoping Mama Wama would destroy it, only for her to betray them and reveal herself for the second time as Zayden Kane. And again, this is what I meant by that first reveal just didn't work, because she ultimately did nothing against the Lichen King, and this would have been a far more shocking and rewarding reveal where we see it with Garmadon and Asa. We feel betrayed and hurt with them rather than already knowing that going in. I don't know, I just feel it ruins the impact of the reveal for me personally, but you guys can let me know in the comment section down below if you like it the way it is, or if you preferred this was the first time we found out Mama Wama was in fact Zayden Kane, because there was definitely a lot of hints throughout the first couple chapters, but ultimately it feels like that reveal for picking up on those hints was kind of robbed. But that's not going to matter for too much longer, because Asa and Garmadon team up once again to take down Zayden King and the Lichen King, who is now under her control, knocking them down a cliff to buy enough time for Garmadon inherit the will of the 5. Only for a sinking feeling to set in and a huge confirmation of a fan theory we had back in the first video. That yes, it does seem that Garmadon hitting the gong in the first chapter and using the little bit of Shatterspin he has actually might have sped up the effects of the venom inside of him from the Great Devourer. And it seems as though this time, if he strikes it, there will be no going back, and we would have gotten Lord Garmadon, but that seems to be a theory. You tell me from this panel what you think it is confirming. Personally, I take this as a yes, fan theory confirmed, and officially, Dork Squad, we were right. And let's be honest, if Garmadon struck the gong here, I think the Serpentine might have been the least of their problems with the amount of power Garmadon would have. While Garmadon hesitates, it's then that Asa takes the gong and shatters it himself, sacrificing his soul, achieving the true power of Shatterspin. And once again, this does seem to confirm another theory that there is 2 forms of Shatterspin, a corrupt and non-corrupt Shatterspin, the red one being a lot more powerful than the just regular Shatterspin that we see Garmadon have. Which begs the question, if there is a blue, seemingly non-corrupt version of Shatterspin, could this lead to a way for Jay to unshatter his soul? I guess we'll have to find out in Dragon's Rising, but it does leave that door open with there being 2 new versions of Shatterspin. Also, this confirms that Asa does have an elemental power. We did learn back in the first 2 issues that anyone without an elemental power that strikes the gong would end up becoming something a lot like the Lichen King, a monster. But if you have elemental powers, you would be granted the will of the 5 and the full power of Shatterspin. Unfortunately, though, we may never actually find out what Asa's elemental power was, as he sacrifices himself to defeat Zayden Kane and the Lichen King, freeing his brother and sisters from their stone prison, as well as the masked wolf warriors, which kind of came as a surprise to me, I'm not gonna lie. Even though I've seen Dragon's Rising, I should have known this was coming, still took me a little by surprise. Before returning to Ninjago, Garmadon is given the Mallet of Shattering to take home to his home realm of Ninjago so no one can ever use it. Again, explaining how it got into Ninjago and to crossroads and all that stuff. He was told by Zuri, who is now the leader of the clan, to make sure it never falls into the wrong hands again. Oof, yikes. That didn't work out. Garmadork tells him that if they ever need him again, he is just a realm over in Ninjago and to come say hey, meaning that maybe we could see these characters again. Garmadork heads back to Ninjago to end the Serpentine War with his brother, which is where we will pick off in our next story, Strike of the Serpentine, which is coming out early next year. And so, Dork Squad, that's where I pass it off to you guys. What do you think all of this means for the future of Ninjago? Will we ever see these kids again? And let me know, how excited are you for Strike of the Serpentine coming out early next year? I mean, I'm super hyped. We might even be getting the Time Twins back. There's so much stuff that could happen in that comic. I just can't wait for it. And if you want to see me break it down, be sure to hit that subscribe button, because I will be breaking it down chapter by chapter just like we did today with Shatterspin. Once again, thank you to my wonderful channel members for supporting the channel and videos just like this. If you want to support the channel for only 99 cents a month and become a member, be sure to click that join button down below and view all the perks. But if you want to support the channel for completely free, a like and sub would be much appreciated. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't cry because it's over, but smile because it happened. I will see you, Dork Squad, in the next video. Peace out.